Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Monday, July the 28th, and I have to admit, I'm a little surprised. We saw over the weekend that the EU and US announced a trade deal. There is something still up in the air about this. The EU believes that pharmaceuticals are included in this. Trump believes they're not included in this. So in the same statement by the two leaders, there was a conflict in the information shared. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out, and I'm not surprised the EU negotiated this. It does seem like I don't mean this in a negative way, but the EU is such a weak group of leaders, generally speaking, that they folded when they held a great deal of cards against Donald Trump in the U.S. But nevertheless, they conceded. I guess they were happy they like paying taxes in Europe, as we do apparently in Canada, sadly. But they were happy with 15% over 30 and viewed that as a win, which just boggles my mind, honestly, as a business person. But there you have it. That's what the EU has settled for. The U.S. is meeting with Chinese officials this week in Sweden. So we'll see if there's any outcome of that from those meetings before Friday, August 1st, the new date for tariffs. That's going to be a big one, and I would expect maybe concessions on both sides, but we'll have to see there because I know Trump wants a win. Apparently, he stepped in and helped Thailand and Cambodia reach a ceasefire, which I have a very hard time believing, to be honest, but that's what the headline says. And then you've got some other news. But this is really just a big earnings week. And we're starting the week positive, primarily based on that EU-US trade agreement. You can see here in the futures that all three US indices are up. The NASDAQ is up. It's going to be a potentially big week for the NASDAQ with a number of the Mag 7 stocks reporting. We've got obviously Meta reporting, we've got Microsoft reporting, we've got Apple reporting, we've got Amazon. So four of the big ones. We've already heard from Tesla and Google last week, and the results from Tesla, not so good, but Google, very positive. And then I think we might see an uplift in NVIDIA this week. It's already up in the pre-market, and I think that's partly due to Google's announced increase in CapEx spend of $10 billion from $75 to $85 billion. We're seeing Rigetti up as well, or Rigetti, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it was off some highs last week, but it looks like it's bouncing back. Texas Instruments, after its bad earnings, is making a bit of a climb back. We've got NVIDIA here. It was up over $1. Now it's only 91 cents, but still up, looking like it's going to get into the mid to high 84 range for NVDL. That's not NVIDIA, that's the Granite Shares 2 times NVIDIA stock. Or ETF, not a stock. Scrolling down, you've got a lot of green on the screen here and a lot of movers. The one that I'm keeping an eye on that's a bit of an outlier because it's had results already is Netflix. Netflix is down below 1,200 and in the 1,100 range. I'm just going to continue to watch this and see, maybe not this week, but I do expect that it'll drop below 1,100. And if it does, I think Netflix is a tremendous buying opportunity if it dips there. You can see it's at 50 times price to earnings. Now, it's still growing significantly, so it can probably justify a much higher price to earnings, but that's oddly enough, that's low in comparison to some of the others that are out there. I mean, if you look at a stock that has been flying this year, Palantir, it's up again, $1.50, almost 1% in the pre-market, but 721 times price to earnings. Come on, that's totally unrealistic to carry that forward. So there's going to be a massive pullback in a stock like that. And Tesla as well. It's had a bad week last week, but then it's bounced back. Bit of a dead cat bounce. We'll see what happens this week. But 188 times earnings for a car company. I know it's got a lot of other aspects to it, but they're very futuristic at this point, and being rolled out extremely slowly. So we'll see whether they materialize into profit-generating businesses. or profit generating departments. So that's where we are. We've got Meta. I'm loving Meta. I think Meta is a super strong buy ahead of earnings. That is one that I'm very bullish on. And I think Microsoft is going to do very well at the same time, but it's also made a huge run up into earnings. So I'm not sure it's going to have as much of a pop as we might see from Meta. And then finally down in financials, SoFi. I love SoFi. I think it's got a lot more room to go. 50 times price to earnings. Again, it's on the high side. However, it's growing like crazy and capturing market share. That's where we are today. Good luck in your trades. And if you like the videos, please hit the like and subscribe button.